This is All Ego Ethan Page, a weekly toy hunter, and you are listening to Wrestling Cheers.
Taking away in the world today takes everything you got. Taking a break from all your worries sure would help a lot. Wouldn't you like to get away? Sometimes you want to go where everybody knows your name. And they're always glad you came. You want to go where you can see that troubles are all the same. You want to go where everybody knows your name.
And welcome back to Wrestling Cheers, where everybody knows your name, especially during a very busy weekend. This is Wrestling Cheers. We like to talk about things going on in the Northeast Ohio independent wrestling scene. We preview shows, we review shows, and sometimes we even have interviews along the way. This is a review from AIW's You Know What? I'm Not Leaving. I'm your host, Justin Summers, and Wrestling Cheers is brought to you by the Trending Topics Network and Midwest Territory. Please rate, review, and subscribe your Evidence Is Fine podcast, whether it be Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, TuneIn, YouTube, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Amazon Music, or Podbean, WrestlingCheers.podbean.com. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, Facebook.com/WrestlingCheers, Twitter.com/WrestlingCheers, and Instagram.com/WrestlingCheers. Email, if you so choose to desire, WrestlingCheers@gmail.com, and we have the merch store over at whatamaneuver.net. Like I said, this is a review from AIW's You Know What? I'm Not Leaving. Of course, I've already mentioned myself, and this week we have Pam. How's it going, Pam?
Oh man, it's going. I'm awake for now. Like you said in the intro, busy weekend indeed. Holy crap, today, yesterday. All busy. So busy. Very tired. I promise I'll make sense later.
I want to say this might be the quickest a review has ever been recorded that wasn't recorded at the after party. Because that
very rarely.
That is the quickest.
Very, very rarely is it ever a Saturday or day after recording.
Mm-hmm. I think if we've done a Saturday, it might maybe have been for a Thursday show, if that. So yeah, this is quite early, and like obviously too, like with it being like a busy weekend, it's like we had this show that we're going to review. There was Toy Hio today, and technically there was a Super Bowl. Unfortunately, this will be coming out after the Super Bowl, so we don't know who won. Maybe Bengals? I hope not Rams.
Let's go Bengals.
Yeah, if this was any other year, I wouldn't care who won between them. I'd be like, that's great both ways. But after Odell Beckham Jr. left the way he did, I don't want him to get a ring this year. If he wins one next year, fine, I don't care. But getting it initially after leaving, especially the way he did, it's that just leaves a very bad taste in my mouth.
You and a lot of other people, I'm sure.
So hopefully I'm not eating my words when this comes out. And unfortunately, Odell Beckham Jr. is a Super Bowl champion, but we'll see. But anyway, and then after that, it's Valentine's Day. Ah, yeah, that
you
too.
Don't even want to. It's just a busy 4 days all in general.
My first Valentine's Day as a married man.
Aww. Stacey and I don't celebrate Valentine's Day, so it's just Monday for us, and I have the day off. So yay me.
We're planning on getting... Okay, I just sat there and said, like, oh, it's our first, Valentine's Day as a married couple. So you're thinking, like, oh, what are you going to do? Something special? No, we'll probably get, because we have been wanting it lately, we're going to get chicken strip baskets from Dairy Queen, and we're going to get some Blizzard they have right now that's special. I don't know what it is off the top of my head.
Red Velvet, something or other, I think.
I think that's what it is. Like that's our plan. So yeah, as
I was just there yesterday. I think that's what it said.
So yeah, it's not.
That sounds good though. Stacey had a chicken strips basket.
Chicken strip basket's the best. I do love Dairy Queen's food, like their actual regular stuff. Their burgers are underrated, but
God tier for a fast food burger because it's everything a BK burger should be.
Mm-hmm. But
my absolute favorite.
But that chicken strip basket. Especially
the one Stacey got yesterday wasn't very big sized chicken strips, so I hope your strips are much bigger than his inchy boys. They look like large chicken nuggets. Yeah, I think he got the short end of the stick. So I hope you guys have bigger strips.
And you got to get it with the gravy. The gravy is so good.
See, he's not a gravy guy. I have a hard time getting him to eat anything that's gravy related.
I do gravy and barbecue because it's fun to
not mixed, right?
Oh no. This isn't
okay.
This isn't pizza and applesauce.
I was gonna say I know you're fucking weird about food like that, so I figured I'd ask.
No, it's just when I first ever got the chicken strip basket, I always got gravy, but I do like a regular like chicken strips with barbecue. So I was like, well, I'll have it so like I can dip it in either. So it's just giving myself a little bit of a variety. No, and then like I said, I don't mix it together.
And then slightly off the topic even more, the best chicken strips would probably be Arby's and their barbecue sauce. I wish that was a basket with some fries and toast. Oh my god, that would be amazing.
I can't remember the last time I've had their chicken strips. I'll have to try that. But I mean, if we're talking fast food restaurants, fine. But when it comes to like a sit down restaurant, hands down, O'Charlie's.
Oh Christ, I don't think I've ever been to an O'Charlie's.
I'm not sure, but I do believe the O'Charlie's chicken strips might be John Thorne approved.
That motherfucker knows a good chicken strip.
Oh, we'll have to find out later, but I want to say that it is John Thorne approved, and it, to me, like of a sit down restaurant, it's my favorite.
I don't think I've ever been to one because I think the only one we have is in Boardman.
Yeah, I have one like right down the road from me.
Because everything's like right down the road from you. That's why.
Except for Chapel Hill Mall, because that's gone.
Yeah, which is crazy.
I mean, the building's still there, but...
Well, obviously. Won't be one day, but for now it is. No, I can't believe your Eaton Park also closed over that way, too.
Oh, but they, well, speaking of chicken strips, that was recently fully bulldozed, and they built a Raising Cane's.
Oh, no shit.
Mm-hmm.
They built a Cane's at that Eaton Park in Akron. Yeah, Cane's isn't that great. I'll probably get a lot of hate for that one. Losing some followers as we speak. I can feel it. Yeah, I don't like it. Bread's good. I'll eat the bread all day. But fuck the sauce. Fuck the chicken. Fuck your chicken strips. I can actually use that for something. Yeah, the bread's the only thing that's worth it from there.
I like Raising Cane's, but hell, since they built this one literally down the road from me, I've not been there. And even since going before that, when they built the one in Kent, which it's been there a number of years, I think I might have only been there 5 times. And wow. that I'm questioning. Like, it might not even be that much.
When the one in Boardman opened, it was so busy that, like, we literally couldn't go there because it had, like, police, like, guiding the lines and shit for, like, a month and a half. And then we just never thought about it because it just, even though it was on 224 in Boardman and I would drive past the constant, it's just not anything I really thought of. So one day he was like, I kind of want chicken strips. Yeah, let's try Cane's. I was like, well, I don't want that. That's not something I want to eat, but like whatever you can have it, that's fine. So we went over and we were like sitting there and like it smelled all right, but like looking at it, I'm like, that doesn't look good. You didn't like the chicken, did you? It was whatever. But like,
chicken was fine. Toast
tea was very good. Fries sucked. Toast was great. But like, he wasn't a fan of. Like, he knows the chicken strip like John Thorne knows the chicken strip. Like, I trust his opinion as well. But like, out of that, like, the best one is going to be Arby's always and forever. Long John Silver's, in his opinion, mine is Arby's.
Oh.
Yeah. Debate on that one too.
I need to retry Arby's, but I want to say I remember getting chicken from Long John Silver's before and being blown away by it. Like it is very good.
Like fish. It all tastes like fish to me. I don't know. Maybe because the grease and the one that I grew up with made it taste like fish, but like everything except for the hush puppy is tainted.
Yeah, I need to go
to crispy things.
I need to go to Long John Silver's. It's been a minute.
My Taco Bell was a Long John taco combo, but they stopped serving Long Johns at like 9.
Ugh.
Yeah, and then from like 9 to 3, it's Taco Bell.
There used to be a Long John Silver's Taco Bell in Kent. And after, I don't know how many years it was there, they've eventually took out the Long John Silver's and it just became strictly Taco Bell. And the crazy the crazy thing about it is they bulldozed the old Taco Bell that used to be there to build this new one. And the fun story for anybody who remembers it is it's the only Taco Bell only fucking drive-through restaurant I've ever been to where their drive-through was a phone.
Weird.
You picked up like almost like one of the like a payphone style receiver and put it to your ear to make your order.
That's the weirdest shit in the world. I've never seen anything like that.
Yeah, so bulldoze that fucker down. Build a brand new one. And then, eventually they're like, we're done with the Long John Silver's part of this. I was going to say there was a place in Southern Ohio. I do believe it's called Jeffersonville. One reason why I love it is there's literally like there's a couple of truck stops at this exit. There's a McDonald's with a truck parking. And then like, there's also like, it's in between two restaurants. Let's see if I can get this right. I believe it's a Long John Silver's Taco Bell and an A&W KFC.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, the truck parking was right in the middle. I used to love stopping there because number one, ample parking. There, if you go at the right time, you're going to find it somewhere. But I knew like I could go hit 4 restaurants up between 2 buildings.
So, are you sure it wasn't a Long John's A&W and a Taco Bell KFC?
I'm sure because actually it was two. It was A&W KFC buffet.
That's so weird. The only reason why I asked is back home over in Western PA, over in Rochester, the Long John's is an A&W. And I was like, that'd be so weird if that was like the same thing. And he just said it backwards. Mm-mm. But yeah, and then like in Chippewa, it used to be a Taco Bell KFC. And then I can't remember if they tore down the Taco Bell completely and built the KFC there. But like where the Taco Bell was, it's now a KFC. And then there was a fucking stupid like car wash or something that used to be just a little bit further down from right there on the same piece of land, essentially. And they put a brand new Taco Bell there. And it's nice, but like the Taco Bell that was the OG still had the 90s aesthetic. And when they got rid of everything. And I'm like, no, my childhood.
I want to repeat what I said. An A&W KFC buffet.
Yeah, that I've just never even heard of. Like, I don't even know how you would do that.
Yeah,
would it just be like the KFC buffet, and then you just order A&W or both? Or?
If I'm correct, that's what it was because it's the A&W part, and then there are KFCs out there. It seems like none in our area, but I've seen signs elsewhere in different states that is a KFC buffet.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I have a classic Pizza Hut here in town, and they do the buffet. That's like my only buffet thing that I have. That's not Chinese.
Before we start to actually review this show, yes. But I want to bring up something. This is my own like kind of like hot take. I don't mind restaurants and businesses like updating, like modernizing stuff, but I feel like the smart thing would be to keep some old restaurants scattered that you don't touch.
Yeah.
So because let's say like, okay, I grew up for those who don't know, I grew up in a small town called Reddstown, and like that McDonald's was like barely touched for years. It was built in the late 80s, and they didn't start to go in and touch anything until the past 5-6 years or so, maybe a little bit more, but still it was like, well, the outside looks somewhat the same. They've changed certain things here and there, but like if you would keep some ones that like you remember from the 90s, like scattered here and there, like it would be like refreshing, dude. Like you would drive, did they not touch that motherfucker? I gotta go in here. I'll get me a Big Mac or something. Like, I need to see this because I haven't seen a regular McDonald's that I grew up with in forever. And now you have like Burger King going like, oh yeah, remember that logo we had in the 80s and 90s? We're bringing it back. And it's like, oh yeah. And even like Pizza Hut's doing it too. Like, yeah, we're going to go back to our old look. Oh, imagine if you had these like Pizza Huts scattered that you didn't touch. Like, those would be kind of cool.
You would have saved yourself all that money too, because now you're transforming old ones back or new ones back into that.
It's like,
but I totally get what you're saying though. Like, I feel you 100%. Like, the sad McDonald's is that we have now, finding a random happy one somewhere would be nice.
An old 90s Taco Bell.
Oh,
back when
just to see that teal and hot pink together again, splash purple.
Back when like $5 got you 20 tacos.
Jesus Christ, I miss those days. That's probably how I got fat. I used to eat a lot of Taco Bell.
And I don't want to say it used to be the best. I still like it, but it was that like, oh, we don't have a lot of money. Oh, we can spend a lot of money. Like, we can spend very little money and get a lot of food going to Taco Bell. And now, like, now it's like you're spending regular prices.
Yeah, that's why I ordered that $5 box, because why am I paying $7 for a Crunch Wrap meal when I can get the $5 box and get like potatoes and a burrito and and a drink for $5?
Yeah. All right. So we have this show, but is there anything that we want to talk about, like Toy Hio? Because that's like one thing I did want to like touch on, because like crazy fucking day. Parking just. The parking lot was fucked. Like, I was debating on making a joke on social media. I can't do it on my Twitter because like my tweets are currently private. But like, just kind of like saying like, oh, I don't know what time Toy Hio was over, but I'm still trying to find a parking spot. Well, something along those lines.
Oh, right. Yeah. Aside from weirdness with that because of the snow, that fucked everything up. But we managed to make it through that. And just starting the day, working the table for me, starting the day working the table with Bree and Stacy, to then managing Scarlett's autograph line, then managing the slew of boys at the table line. That was kind of crazy to me. Like, I wasn't expecting that at all. And I'm glad that Rick pulled me and had me help. Like, I had a great time doing it. And I hope that he lets me do more in the future with him. But getting through all these people, there were so many people there today, and just like seeing everybody and everybody having a good time. Like, we all had a great time last night, but like everybody having a good time today too was just like really nice to see. And the whole day just was nice. Like, all the guests had a good time from what I could tell. And
Scarlett is so nice.
So nice, dude. Like, I did not expect it, because like pretty people are so mean, and she was such a sweetheart.
Mm-hmm. She even did the thing of, which I don't know if it's like, just proper training in her life of just how to handle people. But when I got my picture with her, two things that she did, I was just like, I know this is kind of like good etiquette, but the fact that you don't hear it from everybody, I think is like, kind of maybe telling her, like, it's definitely a good sign of after the picture was done, she said, like, if you like, you want to look at it to see if it's good, which that's big. Aww. Because the picture could be bad, like I could be blinking, like something like hey, make sure you're good with it, because obviously she'd be fine taking another picture. And then then when she's seen it, she's like, oh, tag me in that, which you don't hear often. But I know it's one of those things. It's like, because it's like, hey, if you're going to put that on social media, tag me in it. Okay. Like, to me, it was just that little bit more. And like, she was just very nice.
Yeah. She made some 4-year-old's day. Like, he was the one getting the selfie with their combo. And she like got down on the ground with him and stuff, like down on her knee, and like gave him a hug. And it was the cutest little thing in the entire world. Like, and then some dude made her a custom figure, and it was nice. Like, it looked better. She even said it herself. It looked better than her original doll. but she was just like so flattered by it. It's like her reaction to it was like genuine, unless she's a really good actor and just couldn't do it on TV. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like she was such a nice person, and I hope that her experience was good enough that she's willing to come back, because she was very nice to work with.
Mm-hmm. And then you also had like, Powerhouse Hobbs there, Luke Gallows, Swoggle, Brian Myers, Ethan Page, and Danhausen. For me, I got a Scarlet figure signed, Danhausen Micro Brawler signed, which now like I have one of all his Micro Brawlers signed. I have the second one I have signed twice, because the cool thing about it is you can actually like take the figure out and put it back in the case. And I have it to where, because he has the cape. So like I turned the figure around, so you see the back of the cape, which has all the like the same detail on it that like his actual cape does. So like I thought that was a good display thing. But yeah, I have those, and then I got a Hornswoggle Bendham's figure signed.
Nice, that's cool.
And then for those who obviously you've heard the beginning of the episode, I may or may have got a soundbite from Ethan Page. I don't know if that was today or some other time. I don't know, for legal reasons, allegedly.
Allegedly.
But yeah, like that part of the day, so much fun. I might have booked a guest or some guests for an episode coming up. And fun fact, not a wrestler, or neither of them are wrestlers, but they were at a toy show. So
interesting.
So ponder away. Maybe it'll be an episode in 2 weeks if everything works out right. Hint, hint. But fun day. I think the main stuff that I bought, other than like that shit, I bought 2 VHS tapes, No Holds Barred and Santa with Muscles, which are both Hulk Hogan movies. Unfortunately, I realized when I got home, which I thought it was, I did have No Holds Barred on VHS, but it was like a better case. So I was like, no, there's at least that. And then I bought Kiss Destroyer on vinyl.
Nice.
It looks a little beat up, but like it's kind of cool. I kind of want to buy a record player. Actually, this is like how like old nostalgic I can get. I kind of want one of those old stereos that you like put in like a glass cabinet, and like it has like a record player, a cassette player, maybe a CD player, doesn't have to have it, or like also definitely a radio.
Mm-hmm.
Like I grew up with some of those, like with my dad having them. And now that like I'm buying vinyl and I have some cassettes, it's like, man, I would kind of like that. Like I can put some of my vinyl in the cabinet and everything, and have all the little stereo setups. But I looked up the prices on some of those, and fuck, that's a lot of money. But I still want to try to get one.
Yeah, they're a little expensive, but they're very nice.
I take it you didn't really buy anything?
No, I was too busy, but so I lie. I didn't buy anything that I can display. I bought stuff that is going to make me gain weight. The fudge guy was at Toy Hio today, and I bought lots of fudge and an Oreo and strawberry and a couple other things. But
Smoking Jay's barbecue.
Gosh, fudge guy. And I was going to say, and I had some Smoking Jay's with the mac and cheese and the fork, and very yummy. Very yummy. So, like, I bought that. And then earlier in the day, I was like, Stacy, I bet you somebody has Squishmallows. bet you. And he was like, no, you can go to the store and buy Squishmallows. And when I finally got a chance to walk around and look after I saw Amanda had bought one, and I had seen children with them throughout the thing, I was like, I want one. And then I looked, and the one that I wanted, I couldn't drag myself to spend $40 on it, even though I do have a birthday coming up. I just couldn't do it. I was like, no, I can't justify buying a $40 stuffed animal. Like, just not in the cards right now. Especially since I just bought Bernie the other day. But yeah, I didn't get to buy anything, but Stacy got something that I had wanted to get him for Christmas. So I'm kind of glad that like he had managed to get one. I don't know if I'd be able to find one in store. Not a Squishmallow. It was one of those WWE garbage pail kids. The Andre the Giant one.
I did see some of this because I saw the Macho Man one. Kind of wanted to buy one, but wasn't towards the top of my list.
Yeah, when I went Christmas shopping, you can get, I don't know, like, what the variety every Walmart has, but, like, that's where I found the one I got him for Christmas. At that time, they had Warrior and Austin, so I was like, I'll get the Stone Cold one. Like, this little cool bald dude, like, we'll do this. Since I can't find the Andre one, I was like, I'll never find the Andre one. That's cool. And I never thought about fucking looking at the toy show. So as Bree and I were walking around, I was like, oh shit, that's the thing I wanted to get Stacy. And I went to go back to tell him, and he was like, oh, you mean this? It's like, yep, that's what I wanted to get you. Glad I didn't actually have my wallet on me and buy it, because then we would have had two of them. Because I doubt it was from the same person.
Well,
because he had it by the time I got back up from that table. Like, I was all the way in that other room, like, in the back.
mm-hmm.
And by the time I got up front, like, Stacy had it, and, like, Ed was nowhere near me. So it's like, because Ed had picked it up for him, and Stacy, yeah, you know. But so, it was an interesting day, to say the least. A very, very crazy 48 hours. I'm glad I got a nap before we were doing the podcast, because I got absolutely no sleep last night. But
yeah, I turned off. I turned off my alarm and don't remember doing it.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
So that means I was like really tired.
Yeah, we didn't get home until 3:45, so and had to be there at 8:00.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I hate that kind of stuff. And granted, like it is what happens. Like, especially like the next toy house is going to be right after IWTV. I will say this: it's something I've mentioned before. Like, I have to work every other Saturday, so there's been like some Friday shows that I've had to go into work the next day, and those suck. Like, I think I might have had to go in like the day after Hell on Earth. I'm not 100% sure. I know it was one show recently, but they kind of hired someone and they started on Friday. So I should say their schedule is Friday to Saturday. So I might be out of working Saturdays. So I'm kind of happy about that.
Nice. That's awesome.
Because it's one thing to like have Toy Hio the next day, because it's like, oh, it's something fun you can do, blah, blah, blah. But like when you have to like drag your ass up out of bed for work, it's like, oh, fuck this.
Yeah, that's how I felt after the Winchester show. I didn't open the day after that, but I closed. I just worked in general, and I was like, man, I should know. This is not. Don't want to do this again.
Unfortunately, those shows I will have to work the next day, but yeah,
right.
I'm willing to kind of like bite that bullet, because technically the Winchester's closer to home for me, not by like a fuck ton. But like I don't have to go through downtown and all that kind of stuff, so like that helps a little. But which that's the next show too.
They're all far away from me any way that I look at it. So
that's true.
I'm looking at an hour and a half regardless.
All right, let's actually start to talk about the show that we had.
Yeah, there was a show last night.
There was, and let's start off with the first match, which was Dominic Garrini and Filthy Tom Lawler versus Casey Carrington and Ethan Wright. Pam, did you fall asleep during this match?
I did not fall asleep during this match.
Please don't fall asleep reviewing this match.
Ha 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 ha. No, I was very much awake then, and I'm very much awake now. I was slightly intoxicated at this point, even though it was the first match. But I did not fall asleep. I was very proud of myself. If you guys don't know the joke, Ethan Wright puts me to sleep. That's the bit. But yeah, no, like I was actually awake and slightly entertained. I don't care for Casey either, so watching both of them get assaulted in some way, shape, or form by Dom and or Tom was kind of nice. Yeah,
I don't really have much to say about this match, but to me, it feels like this is kind of what we needed to see with, you know, Ethan Wright and Casey Carrington and technically too Brian Carson.
Yeah, I keep forgetting that he's in that too. Fucking interfere. But yeah, I don't have much to say about it. I like when Dom and Tom work together. It's always nice to see. Having Tom's choice of music last night was fantastic. Good choice. But yeah, all in all, it was a decent match, and fuck Casey Carrington and Ethan Wright. Smiley face and thumbs up, since you can't see what I'm doing right now. It's not a video call.
The funny thing is, at least for me, is Walk Hard recently, for those who don't know, they came out to Walk Hard. That song like recently came up on my, like, because I like played my phone on random. Just throw whatever song at me. And like that came on. I was like, man, I haven't listened to this in a while. So like, I sat there just sitting, listening, enjoying it. So when the music hit, I was just like, I just listened to this recently. This is awesome. Like, granted, like it has nothing to do with me, but it's still like, what are the odds of just hearing that song like so close together?
I like when stuff like that happens too. I get exactly what you're talking about.
And probably what kind of sucks about the whole situation is for us and Filthy is like we love his actual theme. So when it's something different, it has to be where it's like, well, it sucks that we're not listening to his regular one, but like this is fun too. Like when he came out to ICP, I popped for it. I loved it. Comes out to this.
Oh, I know.
Love it. Awesome. So it's like we were definitely weren't disappointed, but it at least popped me. And it kind of seems like we're going to see the end of this feud because obviously Filthy and Dom, got the win pretty clean. And then you had Casey Carrington and Ethan Wright. I mean, not Ethan Wright, Casey Carrington and Brian Carson retreating before the end of the match. So it's almost like they left Ethan Wright to lose. So they like turned their back on him. So yeah. Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, it was Filthy Tom Lawler and Dominic Greeny both making Ethan Wright tap to pick up the victory. So like I said, I'm guessing this is over.
I'm assuming at least the trio, because if you do that kind of shit, like why would you as a threesome this time? Like it seems like obviously that Casey and Brian are wanting to do their own thing, like leaving him there to get his ass handed to him by Dom and Tom. So there's a message there. And it seems like they're like, fuck you.
I mean, I wish they would stay together because I think eventually down the road, we could have seen Carson, Ethan, and Casey Carrington versus Filthy Tom Lawler, Dominic Greeny, and I mean, I don't know but who could possibly fit that, but it could be interesting.
Right.
All right, let's move on to the next one. Riley Rose versus Chase Oliver. Is Chase Oliver heading for some sort of title shot?
I don't know, man. He keeps improving with every match. He keeps getting bigger. He's better than ever. Like he's like swallowed like 2 old chases at this point. Like he's friggin' jacked. Code Chase Oliver 10, 20% off. Don't forget. Sorry, Jonah. But so, yeah, he's definitely got to be gearing towards something because he keeps putting in the work and he has won all of his matches but one recently.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I can't remember the exact number, but like I'm pretty sure he's only lost once since his comeback. And he keeps delivering every time. So like I see something possibly maybe, but like I don't know when. But like yeah, he's definitely gearing towards it. Always nice to see him in the ring. These two together had a decent match. I don't have much to say about it because good wrestling. Like like I was also drunk at this point, but I do remember things. So yeah, they had a good match, but I just don't have much to say about it.
Yeah, kind of in the same boat with you. Also, like, I don't know, first like part of the show, I was kind of in just a bad mood. Nothing necessarily about the show. It's just, I did have like this dumb corner seat again, where I'm like just facing a fucking corner post, and I don't know, like just at first, like just kind of annoyed me. So I was definitely in kind of a bad mood. So
I feel it.
I have less to say about this match too, but to me, Chase he keeps becoming a threat in AIW. Like, I feel like nobody is like pointing it out, but like there's something there.
Oh, absolutely.
Some might say he's on a tear. I don't know who would say that.
I almost said it. Yeah, I have no idea who would say that, but I almost said it. Yeah, he's definitely on a tear.
Yeah, so it was Chase Oliver pinning Riley Rose for the win. Let's move on to the next match. Next up, we had Ziggy Haim and Derek Dillinger versus Chuck Stone and Arthur MacArthur, the production versus bulking season. This match put me in a better mood. I will say that. Ziggy just continues to be maybe one of the most popular wrestlers in AIW. Taking nothing against Derek, but we're really getting behind Ziggy too.
Them two together is a powerhouse, but Ziggy is definitely coming into her own.
And bulking season, I was thinking this later on in the night. Think of that AIW class that was basically bulking season and Bitcoin Boys, and look at them now. Going from that singles 4-way match to creating two teams and seeing what they're doing at the same time. It's like, holy shit. You know what? This might be my favorite AIW class.
Yep.
They would be almost a perfect class if one of them didn't basically drop out. And for those who don't know that, I'm not going to say his name, but the referee. And as much as I love and miss him, but hey, if he's happy outside of wrestling, that's great for him. But when he was around, like even at that point, it was like one of my favorite classes because we had never seen anything like it. Where literally like everybody in the ring were debuting at a show that was a pretty fun show.
Yeah, that was at the brewery one, right? Yeah, big fan.
I was about to say the show or the one behind us.
Both.
The one where Stacy had a really good idea. Where are we going to sit? Fans right there. How about right in front of it? Okay. Good idea. I like your thinking.
The only time I will ever credit him with a good idea.
Yeah, you both had some really bad ones. We won't get into those. But yeah,
for wrestling.
Bulking season and the production. God, there's something about Chuck. This isn't a knock against Arthur.
Not at all.
Because I love bulking season, but I think Chuck could be a great singles wrestler. And
a big horse motherfucker.
And there's somebody he reminds me of, and I think I'm not the first person to say this. I think someone in your household has said this. He's kind of like a modern day Earthquake. And I love that.
Yeah. I never thought about it like that.
I feel like Stacey has said it, but right now the look and some of his moves, like it feels like a young Earthquake. And there's a lot of, legends and big name wrestlers that newer wrestlers will get compared to. Rarely have I ever heard the name Earthquake or John Tenta. And that's what I get from Chuck Stone.
Absolutely.
So before Arthur turns Joker, we need to get him like a little sailor's hat. Because you can't really dress up as a typhoon, but you can dress up as a tugboat.
Sure can. Toot toot.
Any thoughts on this match?
It was a really good match. I love when Ziggy is able to be herself and go absolute crazy. Charles Hamburger, though, I love when he unleashes the fury. I've been missing that knee for a while. I haven't seen him bring it out in a minute. That didn't happen last night, right? I didn't miss it by chance by blanking.
I don't think so.
But, yeah, it's been a while since he's done it. But like knowing what he's even capable of, like, and what we could even potentially see again in the future, because like that was a good match. I'd like to see them wrestle again. But I just love when Derek and Ziggy are wrestling each other and he like uses her as a weapon. But the ending to the match was very surprising. I thought the production was going to get the double on this one. They did not. And then the after ending was even more surprising.
Yeah, I don't know what happened in the match. And I know watching, but like the ending seemed a little weird, but it was Arthur MacArthur pinning Derek for the win.
Was.
And then Danhausen comes out. He congratulates a bulking season, followed by cursing the production, but he also thanked
Ziggy especially.
Yeah.
He especially cursed her.
But after that, he thanked, AIW and, all the AIW fans for all the support through the years that got him to where he is now, which for some people, like you hear that at some shows, that might be real shallow words, but obviously, Cleveland and the production was like a big step for Danhausen, and even like early Danhausen. Especially too, like trying to explain to newer Danhausen fans about like this early era of what he was like then, even like, cause we missed the no face paint era, but we still got, like this silent, spooky Danhausen, always carrying around a spike. And then
what was he, an author?
He was the writer of the production. Yeah, because like everybody in the production at one point had like some sort of
role.
Role. Yeah, I was going to say some sort of acting thing that could be contributed to them. You had like Frankie was the lead. Derek was obviously the director. Colby
was the mime. Wait, no, that's not an acting thing.
I'm trying to remember what his quote role was. I can't remember off the top of my head. I
can't remember. It wasn't around.
Obviously, Magnum was the star.
Mm-hmm. And Eddie Only was the stagehand, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I kind of forgot even about how he debuted, where the buzzer went off during a match because he was the stagehand. If I'm correct, I might be remembering it wrong, but I want to say that's what happened.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and Ziggy was announced as, I think she was kind of like supposed to be like the female lead. I did love the idea. I don't know if I mentioned this on last week's episode or it was before we were recording, that Ziggy was originally talked about on Twitter when she was Jinx of being like the makeup artist for the production. But this is also like all older production stuff and all that kind of shit. But so when Danhausen was in the production and then like really started to build on this character, like Cleveland was like one of the top promotions that was booking him. And yeah, look at him now. Like, it's crazy to think that he literally went from an Akron show to a Ring of Honor show, which was his debut.
Right.
Something I told him Friday and I told him today at Toy Hio and also with Ethan Page. Like, I'm so proud of those two. Just seeing how like far they have came to now, especially Danhausen, or even with Ethan Page. Like, I remember a lot of his travel issues and like how hard that shit was to overcome, but they're both so entertaining and so talented and like legitimately good people. I have never heard anybody say anything bad about either of them. And
right.
If you're around them enough, they'll treat you with respect, the same respect you give them. And like, it's some real genuine shit.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's not, they're both really good fucking actors.
Right.
So yeah, I got nothing else on this. That's how this ended.
Yep. I'm with you on that. There was just like the first half of the show was just like really good wrestling. It's like everything was good.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can't like really break it down. Like it seems like we're not really discussing much about the matches, but it's like you just kind of had to like watch it to see how good everything. Like last night's show is such a watch. Like you gotta know.
All right, let's move on to the next one. Our favorite AIW wrestler, Jocelyn Navarro versus Lufisto.
Mm-hmm.
Both of these ladies are kind of short.
I forgot how tiny Lufisto was. It's been so long since she's been at AIW, and I was like, oh my god, they're like the same height. I didn't even realize.
I would have forgotten, but I know I have a picture with her. And like, I remember thinking like, oh damn, like that's when I realized how short she was. Like, oh shit. Like she might have came up to my shoulder, maybe a little bit below that, but like still like, fuck, she's short. And Jocelyn's, I think they're like roughly the same size.
Yeah, they're both tiny.
And I think too that this match lived up to what I thought it was going to be, of two women that will fight. Like, it's not necessarily going to be this complete wrestling match. They are going to throw punches. They're going to throw their bodies at each other, and it's going to be a fight. And
the advantage of two women wrestlers that wrestle men.
Yeah.
Because they know that they can fuck each other up.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll take it. Like, and this match was very, very good. Oh.
Man, you know what would have been fucked up? If Tom Dunn would have ref this match.
Oh my God, David and Goliath. He's so tall.
And his big ref, tiny wrestlers.
Yeah, that would have been a sight.
But no, it was Port Rocher.
Good old coach.
Someone who's I think trying to be the stunt double for Tom Dunn with his new haircut.
It was funny. I think it was Stacy. Porter was in the ring. And Tom, like, walked past us, and whoever it was thought that Tom was the one in the ring, because, like, with all the people, you can't really see. Yeah, I think it was Stacy. He was sitting down, so he really couldn't see him. He just saw, like, the top of the head and thought it was Tom in the ring.
And we got to talk about the highlight of this match. And I don't want to say highlight, because I feel like it's taken away from these women, but one of the awesome moments of the match that has nothing to do with either of these women is when a little girl was yelling from the crowd in protest of Lufisto in favor of Jocelyn. And we've come to find out, which I knew there was some relation, but it was Jocelyn's niece. And it was
I was going to say the little girl on stage.
Yep.
She was so cute.
Yeah, it was the absolute cutest. And then there was the moment that, like, she said something, which it wasn't bad, but Lufisto turned around and was like, who said that?
Yeah, that was the cutest shit in the world. Like, she was so proud of her friggin' aunt. Like, that little girl rocked.
There are some fun moments in going to a wrestling show when you hear, like, the reaction or thoughts from younger fans. I felt like I experienced it more at Hell on Earth, because there was this younger, newer fan behind me, and I don't know if I don't know for sure, but I want to say it was their first show. But, like, hearing, like, who they would root for was interesting. Sometimes they didn't know the names, like, go Yellow Pants or something. Like, they would just call something out like that. And it, like, I don't know, for me, when I think about it, growing up being a wrestling fan at a young age, I'm like, that's cool. Like, that, to them, that's got to be so much fun. And then when you have a moment like this, when it's actually like a relative, and so, like, she's getting into a little bit more, like, I kind of like had a smile through the match hearing Jocelyn's niece yell stuff.
For sure. And she was loud too, because, like, we were over on the wall and I could hear her screaming shit at her. I was like, oh my God, she's going off up there. How freaking cute. Her mom was like, calm down.
Yeah, it's like
you see her, like, moving her arms, like, calm down. So cute.
Yeah, I saw Jocelyn in intermission, like, gave her a hug, and then, like, she had her niece with her, and, like, I fist pounded her, and I was like, yeah, I was with you right there, like, rooting for Jocelyn and everything, and she was just like, yeah.
How cute. Oh.
It's like,
yeah, I tweeted about it, and Joss was like, yeah, that's my niece, and I was like, oh, that makes it even better.
And I think, too, like, there has been, like, talks recently on Twitter and some Discords about just, like, how fans have acted coming to AIW. Some people might blame Cardona fans, but I think it's genuinely just outside wrestling fans. Like, some wrestling fans are pieces of shit. Could Cardona have been the person who helped bring them into the show? Possibly, but when you also have fucking Luke Gallows, Brian Myers, Hornswoggle, and Danhausen, like, literally the line today at Toy Hio, and for the merch from when I was there on Friday, because I got in like half hour late, like, it was mostly for Danhausen. So there are people that are going, oh, these wrestlers that I know are going to be at this show, you know, they might be, quote, Cardona fans, but they also just in general might be complete outsiders. And what we've experienced, which we won't go into detail, like Pam and I were talking about this before we were recording, about how we were at a show that Cardona wasn't booked at. And, like, the fans behind us were definitely new. And some of the things they said about the matches were kind of dumb. And some of the things that they said about just their lives openly to where other people around them can hear was very questionable. So Pam can back me up on this.
Yeah. Tell me you're a thing without telling me you're a thing.
Yeah.
It was so bad. Last night's commentary in the Jocelyn match wasn't any better. Not AIW commentary, but the crowd heckler commentary near me. I wasn't a fan of it. We don't talk about people's bodies in that way, shape, or form in AIW, and I wanted to go over and punch somebody, but
yeah,
kept my cool.
Fuck, they're lucky Jocelyn didn't hear it and go out and fuck them up.
Seriously. Because
Jocelyn will talk shit to her boyfriend. He's not a small person.
He's a scary dude.
So I can see Jocelyn just, oh, that's what you think? All right, motherfucker.
You want to fuck with the Caribbean girl? Mm-mm. She gonna fuck with you.
Mm-hmm. But, yeah, it was, Jocelyn got the win via roll-up. And,
I was very happy with that.
And then we got treated to afterwards. Lufisto didn't really like it, and she low-blowed Porter O'Shea.
Yeah, I forgot about that. That was funny.
Porter O'Shea
I felt so bad for Coach, but it was funny.
All right, let's move on to the next one. PME versus TME. The main event versus Philly Marino Experience. This was a great one of watching, the main event come into AIW the way that they have.
Mm-hmm. Get
this title shot. And I mean, without getting into the ending, but obviously, it's there of, they came up short, but it's not over. I don't see this being.
It's not over. Like, it was a really good match. TME getting the title shot and being able to get in ring with TME was great. The good vibes and good times they think are still happening are not really happening. I can't believe the amount of fans that have turned on PME. Kind of crazy. I being one of them.
Who did they align? Who did they align themselves with?
Exactly, and I'm not a fan of that. So I probably would have picked the main event over PME, even if they weren't Broski related in this match, simply because they have gone through what they've needed to do to get their title shot and to, you know what I mean? Those guys have really put in the work since doing that new talent initiative and shit. So to have the match go the way that it went with Buttface coming out at the end and fucking shit up, I hated it. I wanted the main event to win. But it was a good match regardless.
Well, basically, Marino pinned Gannon with a little help and distraction from Matt Cardona. So PME retained the AIW Tag Team Championships.
Ooh.
Which, I mean, for me, it makes a lot of things make sense of what we saw later in the night. Because whether people want to admit it or not, whether they like it or not, this isn't over. Doesn't matter, you think this should be done. There's a lot more meat on the bone. There's a lot more story to be told. And I think, I think this right here is telling.
For sure. It's AIW. Make a movie selling stories. Or however that goes. But yeah, there's definitely more to come in the future between that. It's definitely not over.
Yeah, so I think we're looking at, it has to be the main event getting their revenge and coming out on top. That's kind of where to me it would end. I don't think, could be wrong, we're going to see Rip City come back for those titles right now. It seems like they're both going to be eyeing up the Absolute and Intense titles. Whether they're going to get them both off at the same time, or whether there's going to be a way that, I don't know, maybe Josh regains the Absolute and Wes gets the Intense. So instead of walking around as a dual champion, you're going to have the Rip City Shooters walking around with the singles titles. I think that could be really interesting.
Right. I agree.
Any other thoughts on TME versus PME?
Fuck Matt Cardona, and that's everything. Also, I'm real jealous of the fella who got the squirty water. Like, I hate water, but like, Gannon did the squirty water thingy to somebody in the front row, and I thought that was cool.
I kind of wanted to get it done to me, but that was partially because I was kind of thirsty.
So like, I had been drinking, and I was like, man, I could probably use a little bit of water, but I'm too far away, and I'm not front row. Until
we get to hot weather season again, a little thing that I'm starting to do, especially when I'm coming from some of these shows right after work, is like I'm packing kind of a second lunch for my day, but it's stuff that I'm not going to touch until I leave the show. So I have like water and some sandwiches or something to eat like on my way home, to where it's like I don't have to go through a drive-through, or especially too, like, because a lot of times, let's say I am going to stop at a drive-through somewhere, I still need to get there, and a lot of times I'm really thirsty, so I need something to drink, and even if like I'm going to chug it, I need something. So yeah, that's my new thing, because actually I had my lunch that I packed for my day, and then I had this like second bag that I packed for my post AIW meal. Man, I'm gonna start doing stuff like that, because that would save me a boatload of money at Sheets on the way home, because that's the only thing that's open when we get home. And then it's not even, it's stopping at the one in Ravenna on your way home, because we live near absolutely. Yeah, it sucks. Like I would stop at the Sheets like right down the road. Actually, the Sheets right down the road from me sucks. Like, it is awful. The one on the corner? The one right off of Route 8. Yeah. Off of like Howe. By where where the Eaton Park and shit used to be, like where that Canes and shit is. Yeah, I didn't like that Sheets at all. I've eaten there once, and it was not it, fam. Well, for me, it's not the food. Like, to me, the food, as far as what I've ever experienced, is like on par with everything. But it's either be like stocking has been, even before the pandemic, has been like, oh, there's a lot of shit that you don't have out of nowhere. This sucks. Dude, that's like Sheets in general. Their coolers were always fucking empty, and I don't understand why. Oh, and I never had that problem at Ravenna, but I used to go to that when it first opened, like the first like handful of years. But there's another one off of Route 8 by Steele's Corner in Stowe, which is also kind of down the road from me, but in a different direction. That one's much better. Right. But like, one of my biggest issues about the one like down the road from me, besides like the stocking and everything, is like, if you go there at night and you try to order something, it's one of those things you are waiting a long time. Just because they don't have enough people. It's a little smaller Sheets. Like, it's not like small, but it's, comparing it to the other one I just mentioned in Stowe, it's smaller. Yeah. I don't know if that one's been redone. I can't remember. But yeah, the one in Ravenna is always decent, but it seems like all of them right now are overnights are terrible. You're going to be waiting a while regardless of where you're at. Because it seems like everyone down this way that I have stopped at for work has been slow, because there's like one person in the kitchen and one person on register. Maybe two people in the kitchen max. Yeah. But they're also offering an extra $1.50 an hour for their overnight shift. So like they're trying to entice people to work the overnight. So hopefully things will get better soon. Because I hate waiting a half an hour for fucking food after I've been standing all day as it. Yeah. And I know that sounds like a fucking first class problem, blah, blah, blah. I'm getting old. My body hurts. I want to go home. Yep. Let's move on to the next match. Now, we did go to intermission between this, but we came back to the Bitcoin Boys versus To Infinity and Beyond, and I guess fucking To Infinity and Beyond were supposed to be the good guys, because this was a little bit different To Infinity and Beyond, like a much nicer team. I saw Cheech shake some hands on the way out, and I'm like, oh, okay. Oh, wow. I didn't even see that. Yeah, it was right after he got out to like his right-hand side. Gotcha. So like people were probably blocking your way of this. I saw him like I said, shake some hands. I was like, oh, okay.
Nice cheech.
And it's something that I feel like we've said here is just to Infinity and Beyond is the, tag team standard bearers in AIW. And
Yep.
if Bitcoin boys are going to make some sort of stand, it's going to have to be against these two.
I'll be honest, I ended up having to pee very badly during this match, so I missed like all of it. But
must have been a really long pee.
Well, I got caught up in the back on my way back up. So I will say this though, I do like the blue and the silver gear for the Bitcoin boys. It gives them a more professional look. I like the SPD vibes that Mikey gives off. I don't know shit about it. I just know that that's what it's based off of. And thumbs up there. Pop for Ed. But yeah, I'm sad I missed it because Nice to Infinity and Beyond is crazy to see.
Before the show, I brought some gifts in. One of them went to Ziggy. It was the Skittles C4. I promised her I would, if I seen one before the show, I would give her one. And I didn't get to stop at the one particular speedway that I know had them till Friday, so it worked out. But
nice.
I hooked Eric up with the milk that I've talked about for a while. Hartzler milk.
Oh, you finally gave it to him.
Yes. Well, I'm going to say this now, and Pam, you're the only one that's going to be able to do this, well, besides myself, but I already know about it. If you go to Eric's Instagram stories, him and Mikey took some pictures with him. They did like a milk mustache type thing and gave Wrestling Cheers a shout out for it. So yeah, they I was able to hook Eric up, and like I know he tried vanilla, and it was kind of like how I explained it to him. Like, you're going to think vanilla is going to be just a whatever flavor, but it's really good in every flavor they have. And even I got him a bottle of the regular milk, got him skim, and I'm currently waiting on like his review on all of them.
Yeah, I just saw that Instagram story. That's funny. I'd be willing to try the chocolate milk, possibly vanilla. I don't like regular milk, like plain milk. It's disgusting. IMO.
Okay.
Ugh.
Okay, I think you need to at least try it. I'm not saying like it's going to change your mind, but for me, I love milk. It's one of the weirdest things that I drink, because I know people, I remember in like school saying like how much I love milk, like outside of chocolate milk, and like people kind of thought it was weird. But to me, this is like another level of flavor of just the regular milk. And the reason why I got him skim, which is what I get, and it's actually because if you get the whole milk or 2% milk, you will get that thick cream on the top that you hear about in stories or a Macho Man promo of like literally literally like there will be this thick bit of cream on the top when you let it sit.
That sucks, man, because I only drink whole milk. Gross.
But
so I guess I'll try the one without
the skim.
And
skim is great.
In cereal. It would have to be in cereal because it's the only way that I drink regular milk. I can't do it like normally. Like even the smell, the thought, it makes me gag. It's like ranch. I just can't. I can't do it. So I'd be willing to try the chocolate and possibly the vanilla. The vanilla might freak me out because it looks like regular milk. But I don't. God, I'm weird. I don't know.
The chocolate's great. Black raspberry is really good. The strawberry is really good.
Excuse me, black raspberry?
Yeah.
Oh, I might have to find this milk and make some homemade ice cream.
Really, really good. And also orange milk.
Creamsicles.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, speaking of, I've got creamsicle fudge.
As do I. We bought the last bit. We saw that there was a certain amount left. Turned out to be 3/4 of a pound. And we were like, fuck it. Give it to us.
Hell yeah. Get another quarter pound and get that for 20.
Well, we got another quarter pound of something else.
Yeah. I ended up buying 4 separate ones, and then he had a piece of the mint one, the mint chocolate, like already cut. It was like the heel piece. He was like, I'll just go ahead and give you this one. I was like, yeah.
But yeah,
anyway.
not sponsored by the Fudge Guy or Hartzler Milk, but if you get a chance, try their milk out. If you're in the Cleveland area, I do know Heinen's has them. That's where I picked up the ones for Eric. And then actually today when I went to my Giant Eagle, my market district, which granted it's not all of them that have it, but they also have it there. A lot of the flavors are in these really smaller bottles. So it's not like personal size ones. They're all so fucking good. But yeah, getting back to this match, it was Eric Taylor pinning Cheech to get the win for the Bitcoin boys. Like maybe there was some help from the Duke in there, maybe, but Eric pins Cheech.
Fuck the Duke. LOL.
All right, let's move on to the next match. Here we got Brian Myers versus Thumbs Up for Bishop, Josh Bishop. Did you yell this during the match?
Yes, but the moment that me and Rick yelled it, like the crowd got so loud and we were drowned out so bad. And then somebody else screamed it.
Me.
Maybe it was you. Okay. I was gonna say I heard it a little bit later that it wasn't me. But yeah, I was like, damn, they didn't hear us, Rick, and we were gonna do it again. Like Pat was supposed to scream it too, and it never happened.
It's one of those things that I learned from being in drama club in high school, where we were taught how to, quote, ride the laugh. Because when people laugh, it's kind of like in a wave of ha, 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 ha. And right as it starts to go down, that's when you hit the next line, because you don't want to throw in your next line in the middle of laughing.
Gotcha.
Or it kind of like any reaction like that. So it's just one of the same things where it was just paying attention to the audience and then get one of those moments where it's really quiet, like quiet as you can get in one of those shows, and then yell. And that's what I did.
Pay attention to that.
Yeah, because it's definitely not like just yelling it. You have to find that moment where it's like perfect to attack it. Because yeah, if you yell it at the wrong time, it's just definitely noise. And I'll have to go back and because I do want to actually go back and watch this, because it just seems like there was a lot of good commentary on the show, of whether it be Swaggle, Thorne, Nathan Zagura from the Cleveland Browns, like
Rip City certified, baby.
Which I think it was this match that he was commentating on. So it's like I want to sit down and listen to all this. Unfortunately, with as close as we were recording, like I had no time to do it, or I did have time, but I was watching Cobra Kai. So
yeah, it was posted like right before or a little bit before we started, and I told him to put it on. He was like, no, we can't have it turned up. So I'm waiting till after. I'm sure we'll probably watch it.
So yeah, this is another match. This is kind of what I thought it was going to be. This was a match that fucking Brian Myers made Bishop look even better. Like, I don't want to say good, because that would insinuate that he never looked good. This made Bishop look better, because as much as, you know, a lot of people can hate on Cardona for a lot of his stuff, there is this wrestling mind about Brian Myers that I do personally love and respect. And, you know, looking at a guy who has helped create some pretty big fucking stars in wrestling right now, like he will work with anybody. I mean, granted, like it's just kind of a tagline in Impact. He's the most professional wrestler. And I think that's more than just a gimmick with him. So you take all that knowledge and everything and you throw him against Bishop. It wasn't this like bullshit match. Like, granted, there were those moments that, you know, Myers was playing a heel, but like to me, like there was this intensity, and it was to help Bishop look even better. And I think it worked
for sure. And the thing with Brian, when most people see him, like the casual WWE fan that doesn't really know the indies, that doesn't know that he runs Creative Pro, they just see him as Kurt Hawkins, 0-269. You know what I mean? And so like they're like, oh, this blah, blah, blah. And so like, but having them two together in the ring and us knowing like what Brian has done and what he's capable of, and them two working together put on such a good match. Like Josh Bishop evolving into the grown ass man that he is, standing there with Brian. It's just like, dude, it just gives you goosebumps. Like just everything about it. Them two really had a great match with each other. And like you said, to insinuate Bishop has never been good would be like the wrong way to say it, but like he definitely made him look fantastic. Josh is a great wrestler, but working with Brian and showing what you're able to do and everything, it was just a great match. It was a really good pairing. I'm glad that was the matchup.
Little small touch that I love. It was Bishop getting the pinfall and the win over Brian Myers. It was that moment that, you know, Myers stayed and like knocked out for a little while until Bishop like walked to the back. Then he like gets up and like raises his hand. And like, to me, it's just like that's the power that Bishop has to knock a dude out for that long to make him think he won. And I love where this match was put. We didn't have the Major Brothers back to back. And we had a match like in the middle of like, it technically wasn't like a cool down match, but it like separated that kind of story. And then the next match was fucking awesome. But yeah, Bishop, when we really look at it, AIW has been building him over the past couple years, slowly but surely, you know, going back to the Dom feud. And, you know, baby Bishop has turned into big boy Bishop.
Grown ass man.
Yeah. So
Beast.
I almost want to yell that, but it's pretty late.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure if you scream that at 1 o'clock in the morning, Amanda would kill you.
My neighbors might too, because it's pretty late.
V late.
Yeah. Anyway, this match was fucking awesome. Loved it.
Absolutely.
Let's move on to the next one. Isaiah Broner versus Kaplan versus Pretty Boy Smooth versus Matt Justice. Absolute fucking insanity and madness.
Yeah. Anytime Kaplan and or Matt Justice is in a match, that's definitely going to happen. But adding in friggin' Broner and PB, Jesus H, this was an all over the place. I don't know where I'm supposed to turn my head. Holy shit, is Matt jumping off of something? Oh my gosh, this match is crazy kind of match. Like, I just, wow.
I mean, that's kind of the way to put it. I mean, you had chairs being used in this match, doors being used in this match, Isaiah Broner fucking people of Isaiah Broner being able to stand up to a door.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Absolute insanity.
And then, fucking Justice jumping off the crow's nest.
So,
which was right in front of me.
Yeah, I don't know exactly where everybody else was or like what I was doing, but like I wasn't looking at that part of the stage at that time. And somebody around me was like, holy shit, the fuck is he doing? And I turned to my right and I see Matt on top of there. And I'm like, oh my God, it's not the balcony, but Jesus, please don't hurt yourself. And I didn't know like if there was like a contraption over there or what he was jumping into or who he was jumping on. But just like to see him jump off of there so gracefully, and it was wow.
Yeah, like they were all right in front of me. And
that's crazy.
I don't know if somebody said something or what, but then like I just look and like I see Justice on top of the crow's nest. Oh fuck. And I didn't get to get my camera out quick enough. Because that'd have been fucking great. But fucking Justice just jumping on all three of them right by ringside. Yeah,
that was crazy as shit. That match right there is the one that like I'm very excited to watch on replay, because that's also when like everybody and their mothers started crowding around, because like where we were on the wall there was like the 2 rows or however many rows of chairs and then standing room, but like a decent enough walkway gap to where the people in front of us weren't near us and like people could cut through easily. But then everybody started coming out and like, I'm assuming it was Barkley Nation, started crowding stuff up and like we couldn't really see anything. And it was just like, man, I don't know what's actually happening. So
yeah, it's time to get front row again.
These tickets were an oopsie. We were lucky to get tickets at all. I literally bought my ticket earlier in the week.
Damn.
Yeah, like we were going to buy them before they actually sold out, and then we forgot because I thought he did it already. He hadn't. And so when John released, I think like 10 or something, like on Monday or Tuesday, I was sleeping, and Stacy was like, "Pam, wake up! John released tickets." And then Butters messaged me and was like, "John released tickets." I'm like, "Oh my God, fine. I will buy tickets right now, guys. Calm down." And then that was a whole calamity, and I'm glad I even got the 2 tickets then. So
this is also like one of those times there was no crowd spot with Justice of, running and getting caught. Because at least at Hell on Earth, like, he had me and Butters, and I was just like, well, Stacy's not here, but like, I'm pretty sure you're going to be pretty good with us. And there was like a couple people around us that somewhat helped, but it's like, yeah, I think you're going to be good. And I think he was.
Yeah, I had ran to the bathroom during the entrances, so I didn't know if he had actually ended up jumping into anybody or not. So
any more thoughts on this fucking crazy match?
No, not really. Maybe if I can watch it before the podcast drops, I can put a little soundbite or something. But no, from what I saw, it was crazy. Can't wait to watch it on the replay. And yeah, it was good shit.
It was Kaplan pinning Isaiah Broner for the win, which that one kind of surprised me.
Yeah, I didn't know, honestly, how it was going to go. I was very pleased with the ending. It could have, honestly, either 4 of them could have won. You know what I mean? Like, it was a good match, but like, very cool that Kaplan got the dub.
All right, let's move on to the main event. Wes Barkley versus Matt Cardona for the AIW Absolute and Intense Championships. And before this match started, or before even competitors came out, we got the "We Want Wes" chants. And so many boos for Cardona, which brings me to the question that I put on Twitter. Is Matt Cardona the most hated wrestler in AIW history? And I'm not talking about like, we hate some of these wrestlers because they were pieces of shit. It's like in the moment that they're being booked and coming out and the boos that they get, who has been more hated than him? And I'm not even counting too, like the short amount of time, just in general.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know much about like pre me going to AIW. I know a lot of people hate Tim Donst, but like this is way worse than that.
Mm-hmm. This is way worse than the hatred of Donst. And Donst was, you look at that, it was definitely more of a gradual thing, because when I was hating on Donst, I was like one of the rare people in the crowd, and then over time it started to grow. And I don't know if that was people like changing their mind on Donst, or maybe new fans showing up and going, "Nah, I don't get this guy, I'm gonna boo him." But even then, like, I feel like what we've seen, I mean, you see just people being liked kind of equally, and then you'll have it to where there's just like really good split crowds. Speaking of Donst versus Michael Hutter, aka KEC3. Fucking literally just this back and forth chant of Michael Hutter, Tim fucking Donst. Michael Hutter, Tim fucking Donst. Doesn't happen a lot. And you'll have people that are like definitely like very much loved, whether it be, Gargano, Donst through, parts of his run, especially like going up against Gage originally when he was coming back from cancer, like, he was loved. I don't know if I've seen it to this extent of hatred.
Right.
So
I am definitely one of the haters. We'll say that.
And throughout the night, and even with this, like some of the things that were said before the match, like Cardona cut a promo, I was questioning, like, could this be it? Could this be a huge surprise that Wes Barkley gets the win over Matt Cardona? Like the underdog story, he fucking picks it up and the crowd goes fucking nuts. We'll get to that. But any thoughts on the match as is? I think too, like, if I'm going to put the same emphasis on Myers and Bishop, I'm going to say the same thing with Wes. I do love Wes, but Wes is not the star that Bishop is. And I'm not knocking Wes. I mean, I think with Bishop, like obviously like becoming the intense champion, becoming the absolute champion, even becoming absolute champion and having that taken away from you. And then like eventually winning him back almost a year later and like all that kind of story, you know, of the Rip City shooters. Like basically Wes Barkley has been in Josh Bishop's shadow, but it's because Bishop has a very big shadow. And right. Wes has a lot of like, he has some of the best like charisma that I've seen of any wrestler. I think underrated on mic skills and talking ability because we have not seen him do it as much. I would actually put him on the level, in my opinion, of like MJF. But with MJF, like I feel like we've seen a lot. We don't see the same thing with Wes. Like even, you know, having certain conversations with him and like some of the things he's able to like slip in, like there's a mind that's like always working and I love it. But he still was definitely in Bishop's shadow. But I think Matt made him at least look comparable to Bishop.
Yeah, the way that was presented, I'd agree for sure. I didn't really pay attention to like closer to the end of this match because I was like moving stuff around and getting everything shifted to the back. But I was standing in the back when the chair shot happened, and that was one of the weakest chair shots I've ever seen. Like, Cardona, you're better than that. Come on. I can hit somebody with a chair harder.
I don't remember the intensity of some of the chair shots. I think there is kind of like this thing I know with Cardona, maybe not know for sure, but like even when, you know, you have the match with Gage, like some of like those light tube shots seem pretty weak. But I only remember
the chair shot because I screamed about it being weak and some friggin' fan in front of me turned around and was like, "You're weak." I'm like, okay, what? What are you going to do about it? Nothing. Marks.
It's when you speak up and you're like, "My dick ain't weak, bitch."
Dude, well, no, the reason why I didn't really say anything is because when he turned around and said, "You're weak," he kind of retreated because obviously I'm intimidating. Little old me. Yeah. Little old me. Intimidating as fuck.
Little old me, wanna get high?
You sound just like me, my God. So yeah, or else I would have responded probably to something to that effect because I was still feeling it at that point. But yeah, so that's the only reason why I recall a chair shot being weak because of that specific interaction.
My name's Pam. I don't like ranch dressing.
Wanna get high?
I think too, like, I'm not defending the dude, but I think no matter what, especially like with some of the chair shots we've seen during this show, like, that were kind of like, ooh, fuck, that probably like Cardona's hardest would still be kind of weak compared to some of the shit we've seen.
Yeah, I guess you, boy.
So one thing we do got to mention early in this match, PME started to come out, but they were attacked by Bulking Season and sent back to the back. So we didn't see them the rest of the night, and this was pretty early in the match. And then someone came out in like an AIW hoodie and a Danhausen mask, caused a distraction. Trying to remember, I don't remember if there was like a low blow, but anyway, it turned out to be Chelsea Green. To me, made total fucking sense. Unlike some people, maybe some people on this call, I was kind of happy to see her like in AIW because I'm hoping for a match out of this, but we'll see. But yeah, Cardona was able to pin Wes Barkley to retain the AIW Absolute and Intense Championships. And then after the match, Cardona, Myers, and Chelsea cut some of Wes Barkley's hair off. And actually, I don't know if it fully made it out there, but like into the crowd, which was interesting. But Josh Bishop comes out and makes a save, runs everybody off. And then challenge is put down at the next Akron show. Brian Myers and Matt Cardona taking a trip to Rip City.
That'll be a good one.
Mm-hmm. And that don't have to wait too long for it. That's a little over a month.
Yep.
And that's how we ended the show. Any other final thoughts on Cardona and Wes Barkley?
No, sad they cut Wes's hair because I love the Sideshow Bob hair. But it was a good match. I'll at least give Cardona that.
So yeah, unfortunately, we will be seeing Brian Myers and Matt Cardona. Well, unfortunate to some, we will be seeing them again in AIW. I would not be surprised. I don't know if I would bet money on it, but I wouldn't be surprised if this goes all the way up to like Absolution.
Yeah.
Like that's my realistic thoughts on it, when I might have been sitting next to somebody who said this, like after this, like, oh, this is the storyline that doesn't end. I'm thinking, well, it hasn't really gone on that long. And in hindsight, or just like even me putting some thought into it, I would figure this ends at Absolution. How we stretch it out that long remains to be seen, because I mean, it could end before then, but we also had to get this tag team match somewhere. Like, yeah, right. We had the 4-on-4, but like not Rip City versus the Major Brothers. Like, I think that's a big deal. And it's a big match, another big match for Akron.
Yeah, it'll be good for sure.
All right. All right. Any final thoughts or last minute plugs before we go?
So you can find me on the Twitter. Name is at Pamela Nicole, PAMELAA_NICOLEE. Sometimes I tweet funny things. Come follow me. We'll have a good time. Thanks to everybody who came to Toy Ohio today. Made it fun. If you're listening, appreciate you. Can't wait to see everybody at WrestleGrave at the Winchester show.
And of course, you can find myself at JSummers330 on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram, much like you can find the show on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Facebook.com/WrestlingCheers, Twitter.com/WrestlingCheers, and Instagram.com/WrestlingCheers. Email, if you so choose to desire, WrestlingCheers@gmail.com, and we have the merch store over at whatamaneuver.net. Like I said earlier in this episode, please rate, review, and subscribe if you listen to this fine podcast, whether it be Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, TuneIn, YouTube, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Amazon Music, or Podbean, WrestlingCheers.podbean.com. Check out our friends on the Trending Topics Network, such as All Beer Inside, Eurovision Showcase, Spanish Announce Table, and Wrestling with Altitude. Check out our other podcast friends, such as Pod Van Dam, Super Fantastic Podcast, It's Evolution, Baby, The IndieCast, Sobros Network, Biff Radio, Game Marks Podcast, Powerbomb Jutsu, Spotlight Series, Fully Posable, Doing the Favor, Positively Pro Wrestling, IWTV Guide, If You Catch My Grift, At Odds with Wrestling, Best in the World Podcast, Marks with Mikes, This Ends at Prom, and Porch Talk. Check out our other non-podcasting friends, such as Thrift Store Jobber, The Savage Dash, The Mystery Men, Redline Radio, Mouse's Wrestling Adventure, VHS Party Tonight on Instagram, Good Company, Heart of Gold, Toy Ohio Toy Show, Time Capsule Toys, Stay Tough, Smokin' Jay's Barbecue, and be sure to use the 10% off code when you order of Cheers, so you can save yourself a little money. Russell Void, Midwest Territory, Southern Underground Pro, and the official graphic designer of Wrestling Cheers, Moy Boy Designs. That will do it for us here on Wrestling Cheers, where everybody knows your name. And woo, 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 you know it. Later.
It's the Wrestling Cheers. Get up on your feet, brightening your day in the middle of the week. And you gotta love the show. Yeah, you know it holds a title for the best podcast. Talking wrestling in Ohio. Finishing a cold one, take a load off. We ain't all about the prohibition like Josh, so we cheers. And then we sit back. Other shows are in the trash, kinda like they Nick Stapp. Like the name is Matt Justice, wearing all the gold. Wrestling Cheers is coming to a close. The #1 podcast going in the game. And one day everybody's gonna know the name. It's the Wrestling Cheers. This is Platinum Max, signing off. Ohio, good night. The world, good night. We love you. We'll see you next week.